right, we're live. All right, Lagos, this is the smooth side of life. Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. It is 6 minutes past 9 a.m. on a Wednesday, hump of the week, Wednesday morning, smack dab in the middle of the working week. And trust me, we're having such a good time in the studio, playing you great music. And of course, great conversation is coming your way right now because this is Lagos Talks. My name is Ayokunmi Kekirekom. And today we're going to be having a very, very pivotal, vital, important conversation. And I'm starting with a shocking reality check. You probably saw the story sometime last month in Akure where a vice principal was beaten by thugs who were hired by parents. Yes. And his crime? Well, stopping her child from cheating during the West African Senior Certificate Examination, the SSE exams. But here's what's really disturbing as far as I'm concerned. This parent didn't just enable cheating, she was willing to pay for violence in order to protect her child's right to cheat. I didn't realize we had a right to cheat. And this isn't an isolated incident by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, across Nigeria, we're witnessing, or we've witnessed, or still witnessing, yeah, person continues, yes, the normalization of academic dishonesty. It's such a big deal, and parents aren't just turning a blind eye. Many are actively supporting and also facilitating it. From buying exam answers to threatening teachers who catch their children cheating, we've reached a crisis point where integrity in education is under siege. And this morning, we'll be examining how cheating became acceptable, why parents are enabling it, and what this means for the future of Nigerian education. Joining me to unpack this critical issue are two education experts. First of all, I have the pleasure of introducing to you Favour Madumere. She's known as the Global Temitope. She's a head of school and also the founder of the Kids Learning Station. Favour, very good morning to you. Thank you so very much for joining me in the studio.
Thank you. Thank you for me.
Absolute pleasure. And also with me or with us in the studio is Anuoluwapo Michael-Ayeni. She's an experienced educator and curriculum development expert who works extensively with teacher training and educational policy. Anuoluwa, great to have you with us in the studio.
Good to be here. Good morning.
Thank you so very much. Now, let me set the stage with what actually happened in Accra. I mean, I gave a background, but just to paint a grimmer picture, because the grimmer the better for this conversation. When Mr. Rotifa confiscated that student's phone during the exam, he wasn't just stopping one act of cheating. He was challenging a system where parents actually expect schools to just sojourn and look the other way. That's the expectation.
Right.
The mother didn't come to apologize for her child's behavior or discuss how to prevent it. She came to fight for her child's right to cheat. So when the school returned the phone to appease her, she still wasn't satisfied. She wanted the teacher punished for actually doing what he gets paid to do. Now, Favour, in your experience working with parents across different school settings, how common is this attitude where we see parents who see cheating as acceptable if it helps their child to succeed?
So, unfortunately, this attitude is very common in Nigeria. It's very common in the Nigerian communities, and it's an attitude that should not be encouraged at all. So parents are so focused on the end result. Parents are focused on certificates, especially for children writing qualifying and competitive exams, the children in the senior secondary school writing WAEC and JAM. Parents want these children to get into the top universities. They want the children to get better job opportunities. For them, they see good grades as an opportunity for their children to secure their future,
Right.
which is just, it's a mindset that is not right. And it's very common. It's common among Nigerian parents because they want to brag. They want a situation, yes. Oh, Lola just got admission to university. Lola has 5 A's. Titi just got admission. She made 6 A's in her papers. So do you think that Mommy Risi will want to sit down and watch Lola and Titi, everybody making progress, and then she's just there? So it's like, okay, if everybody's doing it, let me join them. So it has become a norm. So it has become a norm gradually. Everybody is beginning to accept cheating. I mean, the parents are beginning to accept it as a way of their child making good grades and as a way of their child They are focused on that certificate more than the learning.
Hmm.
They are focused on the degree. They are focused on their child getting that distinction more than if their child actually understand what was taught in secondary school. So that's just the way I say it.
And what is particularly troubling about this is how sophisticated it actually has become. Because we're not talking about students who are sneaking notes in anymore. That is like old school. They're doing that. You're not moving with the times at all. Parents are buying smartphones specifically for exams, downloading apps that solve math problems.
Exactly. AI.
Instantly, some are even paying for remote assistance during tests. We're seeing all sort of funny things.
Special centers.
Yes.
Right now, Anuoluwapo, from your work in curriculum development and teacher training, what are you hearing from educators about the extent of this parent-supported cheating that is rampant?
Well, you'll be surprised that we hear about it from time to time. It's quite common, and the sad part is it has become a norm, just like Favour said. It has become a norm, and we're hearing about it every now and then. Teachers are complaining, school leaders are complaining, parents are coming and they're making requests like, this is what we want, and they want you to actually get this for them. Now, the funny thing is, we might think that this cheating is all about when it comes to examinations only. Now, how about when it comes to parents wanting to give teachers gifts so they can give the children good grades, so they can give them awards, so they can give them some certificates of recognition, and believing that, oh, because I gave you this gift, this is what I want for my child. They're not directly saying it to you, but indirectly they are passing that message of, because of this reward I have given to you, this is what I expect from my child in return. So even before the examination comes, there's been a number of grades that has been added up for the child that the child does not exactly deserve. So you have a lot of teachers who are actually giving this feedback. Some teachers even want to say no, but some school owners are saying this is how we can keep them. This is how we can encourage them. So there is that issue with teachers, some teachers doing it, and also with some school owners actually aiding, because they believe that this is how we can keep our clients. So this has actually gone a bit deeper than we can actually imagine. And there is that outcry from a number of teachers. A number of times when I have some mentorship sessions, there's that feedback as to, this is what is expected of me by my school leader, or by the parent, or by some colleagues.
Yeah.
And when you're the one saying no, you seem like, why are you trying to say no to what we've always done before you got here? So there is that challenge that actually needs to be dealt with, and I'm glad that we're speaking about this today, because a lot of people need to hear and understand that there is this issue going on in our schools.
And the fact that this goes all the way, or starts all the way from the top in many cases, where the head of schools are the ones who are saying, we need to do this. So if we don't do this, they'll take the kids out of school, take them elsewhere. We lose our funding, we lose money, and we close up, and
we lose students.
Exactly, and they don't want to.
It is such a vicious cycle. But you know what? Let's put a pin in this for now, very briefly. Let's take a quick break. When we come back in, we'll continue the conversation. We'll take your calls, take your messages, and bring you in on this discussion. Don't go anywhere. Keep it tuned. This is Lagos Talks on Smooth 98.1. So it's as if there are cartels kind of when it comes to this issue.
Well, there are.
Because it's wild. Because when I did WAEC, when I did JAM, that was 2004. Maybe my school was sheltered, or maybe I went to ISL Unilag. Maybe my school was sheltered, or it just wasn't a thing at that time. But we did exams without. The worst was.
But there's always been special centers.
But they've always been special centers. I think social media is now making it more obvious. So we're hearing about it more. Special centers have been existing for a very long time. And then if you observe something, some schools, when you pass by some schools now, they put like a big billboard with the number of A's that the children have gotten.
So that's what some people want to do.
Even to primary school, some parents prefer when the children are about to enter year 5 and 6. Some parents will say, "Oh, let's go to that school,"
because they believe
they know
always have
A
stars and all of that.
I heard that even for common entrance now, parents are beginning to move for like common entrance.
Yes, common entrance. Yes.
Now they are trying to start early so that.
Nah. I mean, the first time I actually saw this whole cheating thing like big time was my first UTME, and I was like, what is going on? what is happening? I was panicking, like, what is happening here? It was so weird, but to all of them was like,
It's nothing new.
I seem like the outcast in that
Right.
instance. Like,
Right.
I was not, and it's like a Nigerian thing because if you're not doing the wrong thing in Nigeria, or then
That's it.
you're not sharp.
That's the thing.
Now, bad behavior is like the rule, not the exception anymore.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It is
Oh,
actually.
goodness gracious, Niger. It's wild. It's wild. Anyways, we're going back in right about now. All right, welcome back into Lagos Talks on a Wednesday morning. This is Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life, love great and important conversation as well. It's 17 minutes past 9 a.m. Hope you're having a beautiful Wednesday. We definitely are in the studio because we're talking about something that is very, very, very important. We're taking a look at how parents are enabling academic dishonesty in Nigerian schools. Yes, that's what we're talking about today. Shaking tables, breaking them if necessary, but this is something that needs to happen. And I have with me in the studio two amazing, amazing ladies in the persons of Favour Madumere and Anuoluwapo Michael-Ayeni. They are Amazons in the educational space. They've seen it all, they've done it all, and they're here to break it down for us, give us the insight, the lowdown. If you're on the outside looking in, you might not really know what's going on, but from those who are inside, who have seen stuff, who have experienced stuff, hey, that is what it's all about. You also get to join us on the conversation by giving us a call, sending a message in, or even a voice note as well. And all that will happen on WhatsApp. The number is 0809 444 0981. 0809 444 That is the WhatsApp number. So we're looking to hear from you on this topic. If you've seen certain things, if by any chance you've dabbled into and you want to come clean, you can be anonymous if you want to be. That is fine. This is a no judgment zone at this point. And all right, ladies, thank you once again for being a part of this very important conversation. And one thing about this, there's a message here. I want to actually lead into it. The fact that this issue starts early, I mean, doesn't it? I mean, and what I mean by that is parents who complete their children's homework on one hand, doing their projects, writing their essays. So by the time these kids get to secondary school, they expect this level of support and see absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's like,
Right.
a normal thing. And I'm saying that because there's a message here from Fumi in Surulere who says, I'll be honest, I help my son with his assignments because I don't want him to fail. All the other parents are doing it too. If I don't help him, he'll be at a disadvantage. The teachers know what's happening, but they don't say anything. Now, Favour, this message captures the collective enabling that is happening, that's going on right now. How do we break this cycle when parents feel they have to cheat to keep up with other cheating parents?
So breaking the cycle requires a multifaceted approach. We have to involve everybody, the parents, the policymakers, the leaders, the school owners, the teachers. Everybody has to be involved. But first, I'll start with the parents. So every parent must understand what success is about their child. Not just, I want my child to get into a top school, I want my child to get a big job and start making 6 figures or 7 figures. You as a parent must first understand what success is to you. When you understand what success is to you, it affects your value system and how you will work with that child. So for me personally, I would say success is about focusing on the holistic development of the child and not just academics. So academics is okay. I'm not against it. Academics is good. But you need to focus on the child's social development.
True.
You need to focus on the child critical thinking skills, problem solving skills.
Oh, yes.
You need to focus on the child intellectual skills. This will help the child in academics. You need to also focus on what the child can do best. You need to look at different things about your child. And then you pick where your child's strength is and you focus on that child. So success for me is different. I believe that a child needs different skills to thrive in life.
It's not a one-way street.
It's not. It's not all about getting the certificates. A lot of people have certificates and cannot defend them. A lot of people have certificates and have bad characters. In the workforce, we've employed a lot of people, and after 1 month, you know, okay, this person is not a team player. This person cannot work with us. But because of while they were in school, or while children are growing up, we are helping them. You're not allowing the child to think for themselves.
Right.
Any homework, the teacher sent home task for you to support the child. Of course, you need to support the child, especially with younger children. Children, preschool, nursery, primary, yes, they require some level of support. Children learning how to write will require you to probably hold their hands. But when you write for the children and send it back to school, and then we think that the child actually did it.
Homework.
So, I mean, it starts from there. That's where we start breaking the circle. We break the circle from parents being fully intentional. We are all busy. Everybody is busy. We are all trying to make the money.
True.
But you see, the children, they are the next generation. So it's how we raise them now that will affect the next generation. So we have to be very intentional with it. School leaders also needs to be intentional. We need to be sure. We need to know our own value as a school.
Right.
And also, policymakers, they need to come up with probably stricter invigilation during some of these wide exams. They need to come up with penalties for cheating. That way, if everybody knows that if you're caught cheating, this will happen to you, everybody will start watching their back. And then they'll start withdrawing from that act. But if as a system, as a country, we still encourage it, everybody's doing it. That's what we keep telling you. Everybody's doing it.
It's like the new normal.
Yes. So, and then I also think that religious leaders, I need to go to religious leaders because, because religion before, in terms of Christianity, Islam, or any religion, used to focus on moral values, focus on being honest, focus on being truthful, focused on character development. Then when we go to Sunday school, I'm a Christian. When we go to church at Sunday school, they will teach us say the truth, do not lie, obey your parents, different things. So I don't know if we're still having that same moral values in church or in the mosque or any worship, anywhere that people worship. But we need to also focus on moral values for children. We're not just coming to church to pray that we want to make money. Yes, because now it's almost, I'm not against prosperity message, but we also need to talk about understanding, as a Christian, understanding who Jesus is himself and the values he upheld and what he wants us as followers to also uphold. That way we can teach our children the same thing.
Right.
So that way when you're having your probably prayer time at home or whatever you're having at home, you can always transfer the same values. Talk to them about it. Talk to them about being honest. Talk to them about integrity. Talk to them about having character. So breaking the circle actually is a lot. It's broad. But it requires a lot of, we have to look at it from different directions. And everybody, the parents, the school, the leaders, we all need to work together to achieve it. We all need to collaborate to ensure that we are all working as a team to achieve that.
You know, something you mentioned, you talked about people that have certificates that cannot be defended. It just reminds me of stories we hear about young people in NYSC camps who can't fill forms, and I say it's a lie. It's not possible. Lie. How can you be at this level? You cannot fill a form. You cannot write your name. You can't. No, I know it's true, but it sounds so surreal. I can't accept. My brain can't accept it. No, you can't at all. Another message here. This is from Mrs. Adebayo Nikeja. Says, I'm a teacher and I can tell which assignments parents did versus what students did themselves. I don't know why some parents feel teachers are not smart.
Exactly.
Really. But when I raise it, parents get angry and threaten to report me to the principal. School owners don't want to lose students. There we are.
Yeah.
So they'll tell us to manage the situation. Clearly, this shows pressure on teachers to accept the cheating, the dishonesty, to avoid conflict. Now, Anuoluwapo, how widespread is this administrative pressure on teachers to look the other way? I know that teachers tend to do this and that, and you talked about how even from the top we have these issues.
Yeah.
Is it more widespread than we imagine?
Well, I would say it is. I would definitely say it is more widespread than we imagine, because like I said earlier, it starts with those parents who want to give gifts to get the grades for their children, those parents who want to write the homework for them. And then when teachers come to speak, the school owners are like, okay, let's see how we can deal with it. So they're not exactly telling them what the issue is and how they should go about it. They're trying to be in the middle. You just want to play safe because you don't want that parent to leave to go to another school, because at the end of the day for them, it's that business that if this child should leave, then another school would accept the child, and then we are at a loss. So school owners are trying to play safe. So it is widespread. It is. For teachers who are able to speak up, they have school leaders who are not able to actually support them and say, yes, we cannot accept it. We have the very few schools, I must say, we have very few schools who are standing on their policies that this is not acceptable. And then when it is found out, the children will probably be sanctioned, maybe suspension, expulsion, or whatever it is that their policies allow. But there are still this many schools who are not going by what is right. And then, but I think just to add to what Favour has said, I would say that as parents, especially when you see that other children are actually doing this and you want to instill the right values in your child, I don't think you should be in competition with other children. I think it is very important that we let our children know that you're not in competition with the other children, you're in a competition with yourself.
Right.
So it is about the skills that you acquire, it is about the progress that you make. So if you are that one parent who is standing on the right, who is saying, I want to stand on my integrity, I want to stand on my value system, and because I am also a believer, maybe a Christian or a Muslim, whatever it is that you believe in, it is important that we pass on the right value to our children, irrespective of what others are doing, because it actually starts with us. That notion of everybody is doing it can actually get us into far deeper than we can imagine. Before you know it, you're like far gone, and your child is already a teenager, and at that point in time, the child is used to getting good grades without having to put in so much work. At that point, where do you want to start from?
I mean,
where do you want to start
when
from?
it gets to that level, it's like when you pour cement over a particular hole, and then of course when it's still fresh, you can still maneuver and all that, but when it solidifies, that is the end. So when the child gets to that older age, 17, 18, teenage years, they're more or less solid, and then you really cannot go back to do anything in that regard. This is a message here from, who's talking to us here? Kaylee says, this is the result of bad leadership and bad parenting. When those that are governing us get to power by means of rigging and thuggery, they will definitely pass the process to the public using crooked means to achieve success. A total reorientation is generally needed for all the systems in Nigeria to perfectly work. I don't know about perfectly, maybe optimally, maybe not optimally, probably, but not perfectly. I don't know about that one, really and truly. All right, we need to take a breather here. When we come back in, we'll continue the conversation. There's a message here from Chicken Lecky that actually raises a very, very important point that I'd love to talk about. That and so much more. Keep it tuned. Lagos Talks on Smooth 98.1. There's plenty happening.
There is. Even from the early years, you'd be surprised. That homework for children, majorly in the early years.
But it's just common sense. If you're helping the child to do it, the child doesn't know anything at that stage. How is the child then supposed to be able to hold a pencil, write?
At the end of the day, exactly.
How?
So at the end of the day, you keep helping the child. They don't realize that when you start it, you have to continue.
Yes.
Because the idea of, the child is tired, he cannot do it, or maybe some parents are not even patient enough. They are thinking that, by the time before I get him to settle 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I don't have that much time.
Everybody's busy.
Yes.
And then it gets to a point where the child is older and can't do those things that are basic. And you're like, what's all this?
Going on? But you've
Is it
been
the school?
coming
Is it
with
this
projects that are perfect.
Projects that you did though as a parent though. Okay, let's continue playing. It's 31 minutes past 9 a.m. This is Lagos Talks on Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. It's a Wednesday morning, 23rd day of July 2025. Yours truly is Ayokunmi Kikiriakon, and interesting morning that we are having in the studio. We're talking about education. Yes, and we're trying to unpack here how Parents are enabling academic dishonesty in Nigerian schools. Yes, I'm pretty sure a lot of people can pick up a mirror and look in that mirror and know that we are speaking to them. Your time is nigh to change your ways. And let's end this scourge because it doesn't help anyone. Anyways, my guests in the studio are Favour Madumere, aka the Global Temitope, and Anuoluwapo Michael-Ayeni, two amazing women who are in the educational space, sharing knowledge, sharing experiences as well, and trying to figure out how we can just stop all this absolute nonsense that goes on in our schools these days. You also get to share your perspective on the matter, so please do join us on WhatsApp by sending your messages, sending a voice note if that's preferable, or giving us a call as well. The number is, I beg your pardon, 0809 444 0981. 0809 444 0981. Those are the ways that you can join us on the conversation. Okay, there was a message here from Chike that I said I wanted to actually take. He says, I know someone who pays for his daughter's exams through WhatsApp groups. Now, he says that everyone does it and it's not letting his child suffer because we want to be holier than thou, in quotes. I, as a person, I'm uncomfortable and I've told him that this is the wrong thing to do, but hey, what can I do in this instance? I mean, I guess Chike has a conscience at the end of the day, and his discomfort shows that some people know that it's wrong, but they feel trapped within the system. Now, how exactly can we support parents who actually want to do the right thing? Because there are parents out there who don't want to get involved with this at all. How are those parents supposed to be supported when it seems like right now they are in the minority?
To support the parents, we can have parents groups, we can have forums, we can keep talking to parents. So we can have sensitization where we go to schools and during their PTA meetings in the schools, we can talk to them about the disadvantage and the long-term harm of academic integrity, that is dishonesty, sorry.
Right.
So if the child is dishonest, if the child does not study, if the child does not work, that is study hard for their exams, we need to explain to them the long-term harm. So we're just seeing the end result now. We're just seeing we're just seeing what's happening now. The child needs to follow through process. It will help the child later. So everybody is looking at now and nobody is thinking of later. We also need to remember that we're not going to be with this child forever.
That is true.
As we grow older, you might never make it up to 50. You might even make it above 50. But the child will now have their own lives to live. And you don't want a child that will regret mommy or daddy helping me all the time. You won't be able to help that child again.
Yeah.
So we need to think of process. We need to allow the child to be involved in actual learning. And the best way to do that is to keep talking to the parents. We have good parents among us and we still have some good schools, but we need to keep talking to them. We need to make them understand the reason why honesty is very good, especially when it has to do with exams, and why they shouldn't involve in any form of examination malpractice, and how they can also support the children. So imagine a WhatsApp group where we have a lot of parents. Okay, now there's a WhatsApp group where they are doing these payments. Just saying. Chike said there's a WhatsApp group where they are paying. Now imagine there's another WhatsApp group where we can support ourselves. So what we need to do is, oh, hello, Anu, my child is having difficulty in this. Can you recommend a teacher that can help me with this? And then we have like 3 or 4 children come together and probably somebody just take a class with them to help them with further maths, to help them with biology. We can all support one another to ensure that our children get the best than we now supporting each other to help our children cheat in exams. So I think we should start focusing on the good, start focusing on how can we help one another, how can we help our children to actually get good grades by working for it, and how can we support our children in other areas that they can thrive in. Like I keep saying, it's not about the good grade. There are some people that still have this good grades and they cannot talk. They can't even say anything. During project defense, sometimes you'll be so surprised. A lot of children have been helped, students have been helped with their research, and now with AI now in place, a lot of people just go into AI. Well, okay, I need to do this, I need to do this. AI has given them the answer. They cannot defend what they've done. So we need to support one another. We need to have a community. where parents can actually support each other. And then we need to also work with the influencers that we have now. We need to talk to influencers about reaching. I don't know how we can say it, but the children are on social media. The children are seeing what is happening on social media, and everybody, children know a lot. You'll be so surprised what the teenagers are watching.
Even the younger kids,
Yes.
you just think, oh, they're so young, they don't know
They
anything. They,
don't know
say
anything,
live.
so they are seeing
Well,
what
they
they're
see what's
watching.
happening
Yes.
there.
So if we can work with influencers so that they can keep talking about the importance of moral values, the importance of upholding honesty, and these are just the things that I can think of for now that I think will help those that still have some conscience and still want to uphold honesty.
Right. Okay, let me go to the phone line real quick. Hello, good morning. Very good morning to you. Abami, welcome to the show. Talk to us.
A week to
The
exam.
week to exam.
Interesting.
Yes. That's it.
Mm.
Who actually get into it?
Mm. They begin to fumble.
That's it.
Agreed. Question. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Abami, for sharing your thoughts on this particular matter. I mean, what is Teacher Appreciation Week? Just a week before exams. I mean,
A week before
Why?
exams.
there's no coincidence there. Oh. No coincidence. I'm just a week before. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, I don't know. Maybe just is a duck at the end of the day. Wow, things are already happening. Oh. All right. Cisco Delgado says the problem is that most school children really don't understand the meaning of failure. That is true. Failure means that you didn't prepare well for the examination or challenge, but most school children look at it as the end of the world. Even
Right.
parents worsen the situation by abusing their children when they fail. I sat for UTME 4 good times and was successful on the fifth attempt. By then, my friends and mates had already graduated in their areas of discipline. But guess what? We all are in the same level of life experience wise today.
Exactly.
Personally, I always tell my kids there's no crime in failing.
Yeah.
Everybody is doing it is very dangerous. He then says, all my kids must go through terrains of life in order to appreciate and also embrace what it means to work and prepare for every success in life. This issue about parents not wanting their kids to fail, does it come off the back of maybe what the parents themselves experienced when they were kids and they're like, I can't let my child go through this and so on and so forth. Is
Sure.
is that some level of trauma or what exactly would we call it?
Well, I would say to an extent it is, because you're trying to give your child all of the things that you did not get as a child, and you're trying to make up for the mistakes that your parents supposedly made, and then you want to like over pamper and give the child everything, even the ones that you know that they do not deserve. I think it is important for us to understand that we cannot give our children everything, and it is important to let them know that when you fail, it only means that you work harder next time. We need to teach children to be resilient.
Yeah.
So we're not just going to give them everything because we're thinking, when I was a child, I didn't get this, so I need to make up for it. You cannot be making up for it, and in the long run, you're doing more damage than good. So you have to be sure to strike a balance. You want to give your children what you did not get while you were younger, but you also want to make sure that they understand what life is. Life is all about ups and downs.
Yeah.
So if you keep giving them up,
Yeah.
when they actually get to go down, then they feel like that's the end of the world. That's what happened. But from while they are young, you let them know that when you fail, what do? We prepare. We work hard next time. You celebrate their effort. A lot of parents want to celebrate only the successes. They want their child to get the A's, and that's when I get to say, well done. But what happens when that child gets a C? What happens when that child gets a D? Celebrate the effort. Let that child know, I know you've put in your best. Or maybe you didn't put in enough. Let's work harder next time. Now, what can we do to make sure that next time it's even better? So that child now goes from getting a C to getting a B. You're also celebrating that effort. You're not at the A
It's an
yet.
improvement.
There's been an improvement. So at the end of the day, it's all about waiting for your child to excel before you know that, oh, you need to be celebrated. But you need to keep giving them that reinforcement, keep encouraging, keep supporting, not having to give them the answers. Because like Favour said, you're not going to be there forever.
Right.
So what happens when you're not there and the child is going through a tough time? We all heard about the girl who failed JAM and committed suicide because she felt like
that was
this
the
is the end of the world. But you know, we know that was wrong. We know that there were also some issues with the examination and all of that. But we also need to let our young children know it's okay to fail. When you fail, you go back to the drawing board, you go back to your studies, and you work harder for the next examination or the next task ahead.
All right, let me see if I can sneak this call in because we have a break coming up. Let's see who's talking to us here. Ooh, please turn off your radio set all the way off. Thank you very much. Good morning to you. Thank you for calling in. Who's talking to us? Femi, welcome to the show. You need to be as brief as possible because we have a break coming up. All right. Thank you very much, Femi, for your contribution. Very much appreciated. Do have yourself a great morning and keep listening to the show. And of course, the Smooth 98.1. Let me take our final breather, and then when we come back in, I mean, like Abayomi said, this conversation is not a one-day something at all, but we'll do the best that we can today and see how we can cook up a part 2, part 3, part 10 if necessary. Hey, we'll see what we can do about that. But don't go anywhere. Keep it tuned. We'll see you on the other side.
A lot of parts.
Yes. Teachers Appreciation Week. A week to, and when exam is, oh my God.
That's definitely a setup. You know, that's what I said about giving gifts. I've had a parent who called me one time and wanted to know what her child scored in the examination, and that was even before reports got home. And I said, "Oh, I cannot let you know. When the reports come, you will see." And she's like, "Tell me now, Miss so and so." She mentioned the previous teacher who used to tell me, and I was like, "Well, I'm sorry, I cannot." She was like, and you don't know what I can actually do for you."
There we are.
And at that point, I was like, "Well, I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't know." But when the report comes home, the woman was very upset. She ended up screaming at me over the phone. "You're not being fair. I just want to know, why are you asking me before reports come?" So if she now hears the scores, that's an opportunity to say, "Okay, send me your account number so that I can change it."
Yeah, change the score.
And this child was 5. This was year 1.
And even when you give
This was
on prize giving day,
5-year-old.
parents are angry. "Oh, why did you give that child? You did not give my child." But your child did not deserve it.
So now it's not about what the child deserves, it's about what the
Yes.
parent wants for their child. So they can post it to say, "My child got this."
Yes, my child got this, my child got that.
So it's not about social media and all these days.
As you said, they're not going to be here forever. So
Parents think,
What
parents
happens
think
when
they'll
you're
be,
not
they
there?
think they'll be in their child's life forever. I think that's just what they don't
Maybe
know.
they'll follow them to
No.
work. That's why you have issues in the workplaces.
man, this is just wild. Absolutely wild. All right, if you're just tuning in for the first time this morning, this is Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. Lagos Talks is what you're listening to, the home of great conversation. My name is Ayokunmi Kikireko, and it has been a very interesting morning, believe me when I say that. I've been having a great discussion about an important conversation, important issue with two absolutely amazing women in the studio, in the persons of Favour Madumere and Anuoluwapo Michael-Ayeni. We have been unpacking this issue of parents who are enabling academic dishonesty within our schools. It is something that is so very rampant. I mean, unless you've been living at Bikini Bottom, you will know that this has been happening for quite a while, really and truly. And I can sneak in a couple of more calls and messages. So the WhatsApp number hasn't changed. It's 0809 444 0981. 0809 444 0981. That is the WhatsApp number. Send a message, send a voice note, or give me a call as well. This is from Fola in Ikorodu. Fola says, as an early years educator, I have seen parents sending us perfect assignments, which we know were not done by the kids. Some will even write with their left hand. Parents will legit lie to you about what their child cannot do. We are tired and hope that they will encourage these children to be independent. Okay, that is a first. I mean, the parents who switches to the left to right. I'm left-handed, so my right will be my awkward hand, just to mask the handwriting. Is it that serious? This is early as we're talking about. This is the foundational stage where the child is required to develop these skills. So if the parents didn't learn these things on their own, would they have been able to get to the point where they can help the child to do all those things? Because my head is just,
I think sometimes parents don't really think about that. They don't think about the fact that these are skills that your child actually need, because they just think about the end result of, I need to send that homework so that the teacher can see that my child has done it, and maybe, for instance, the homework can be graded or can be displayed and my child has a perfect homework. They're not really thinking about the fact that if you keep helping the child, how is the child going to learn to hold a pencil? How is the child going to learn to do his or her homework? How is the child going to end up knowing that it is important to work before play? Because sometimes you realize that the child is not even doing anything important. Maybe the child is playing and they just want to help the child so that the child is not disturbed with whatever activity.
Right. I mean, Favour, looking at all this, at the end of the day, is there a level of narcissism involved where the parents are concerned? Because, we talked about at the beginning of this conversation that parents want to look good, they want to brag, and so on and so forth. Can we say that these individuals are being narcissistic, and when all is said and done, it's about them, not about the kids?
Yes.
Leave the kids. It's about me looking good at the end of the day. Is that what we're dealing with here?
So we're dealing with a lot. I'll start with punctuality. Okay, please come into school by 8 o'clock. Assembly starts 8 a.m. You have parents coming in by 10. You have parents coming in by 11.
11 a.m.
Yes.
To drop the child.
Yes, and I'm talking about those in the primary and lower nursery.
Why bother?
And then they will tell you, oh, is it not play? I did not come in to just play. But when you come in by 11, a lot of learning has happened before that time. Okay, it's exam week. Please come in for exam. Exam starts by 9 a.m. Please. I'm telling you, we literally send a message with nice words. Please come in early because exam starts at this time. But you have some parents that will come in by 10
For an exam
in
that
primary
starts at
school
9.
for an exam that starts by 9. And then when you're trying to talk about it, I'm so busy. I go home so late last night. I woke up so tired this morning. So you have to be empathetic because it's the parents. Now you have a parent that coming to enroll and you tell the parent that this age is not okay for this class. So you have a parent telling you, no, let her go there, let her go there. She will do well, she will do well. Not
She'll be
about she will
fine.
do well. The child must have turned that age by September of the school year. So if by September that child is not age appropriate for that class, it's advised that the child goes back to the class, the previous class. Whatever it is, even secondary, even primary school, same thing. You must have turned a particular age for that class. But you hear parents say, oh, it's not December, we'll turn that age by December, we'll turn that age by January. How many months? So what do? As a school, most schools don't want to lose the children. But we have some schools, I must say that we have some schools that stand on their ground and insist. So if you don't go back, you leave. So, but because you want to also be part of that school, you will stay. But then when you have the schools that were still coming up, schools that are just okay, just trying to grow, a growing school, a startup school, they will take the child just to please you.
Not caring about the impact or the effects
on the child
eventually.
Yes. At the end of the day.
So you're not focused on that child anymore. You're focused on you want your child to be in this class. Okay, now I'm just giving you different instances. So we have a parent that will come and say, why is this child not writing? My neighbor's daughter is writing 1 to 500. I'm still talking about the foundation level now. This is what happens at foundation level when we talk about early years to primary. From foundation level, we already have attitude like this from parents. My child is writing 1 to 500. Why is my neighbor's child can write 1 to 500. Why is my child not writing? So you have to explain to the parent that we need to develop their fine motor skills. We need them to be able to hold the pencil nicely and not hold the pencil like that. Like hold the pencil nicely. We need to develop their muscles in their hands. We are doing this. We are doing this. Oh no! I want them to start writing.
They want to run before they can walk.
Yeah. So the parents are not listening. We have parents not listening. Now, when you keep doing this, you're pushing the child. You're pushing the child all the way. You keep pushing. You keep dictating to the teacher what you want for the child. And then you keep doing that all the way to secondary school. Because when the teacher comes to you and say, this child is strong, man, you just need a little support, probably in some subject like English. This child needs support with math at home. This child needs support with sciences at home. You'll be the one telling the teacher that, oh, I have a lesson teacher at home. And the lesson teacher said that the child is doing so well. So we have a lot going on with parents right now. Parents needs to start listening to the school as well. For academic success to also happen, you need to listen to feedback from the school and feedback from the teachers. So
that is actually very, very important. And you know, because time is a very, very big factor here, I'm going to have to compress a number of things, but it's also very important to look at those teachers who are not willing to be involved in this sort of thing. It seems like they are the exception right now within the pool of what is going on. I mean, how can teachers who want to walk the straight and narrow, teachers who know that this particular field, it's a calling for me, because I was speaking to my cousins on Sunday and we're talking about certain disciplines that I feel personally, if you're not called, if it's not divine, don't bother. Talking about being a doctor, being a nurse, being a teacher as well. Could this also be a function of the crop of new teachers that are coming into this? Because it seems like a lot of people now are teaching because there's nothing else for me to do. There's no work anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, teaching job available. If you used to do 2 + 2 = 4, no problem. I will do it. how big of a factor is that as well in this issue of dishonesty? I mean, yes, we talk about the parents, but of course, the teachers are not complicit as well. It wouldn't be happening.
Mhm.
Well, I think it's very important that as a teacher, if you understand that this is wrong, then you need to stand on that. You need to be able to stand on what you believe in and be able to talk to others. You know, like it starts with those small relationships that we form, those small communities that we build, and then you are actually advocating. Like you're constantly advocating for what is right. Like if you find yourself as one of the minority teachers, that is, be sure that you are standing on it, you are advocating, you're sensitizing parents and
Right.
sensitizing even your colleagues to understand that this is not the way to help the children. At the end of the day, you provide them all the answers. How do you get them to think critically? How do you think them to be independent? How do you get them to be able to help themselves when they have to solve problems? Because you have some of these children who are not able to problem solve. So if you find yourself as one of the, and thankfully we have social media now these days, so I think it is very important that you use whatever platforms you have to constantly propagate this, that
Mm.
this is what we need as teachers, this is what we need for the children. And if you're one of those who find yourself, okay, maybe because there was nothing else to do, I'm not
Yeah.
actually called to teach, like you said, I'm not actually interested in teaching maybe, but this is what we have available because there are schools and there are always vacancies and there are always openings for teachers, and you find yourself in that situation. I think it is important that you continue to learn. I think it's important that you continue to ask questions.
Yeah.
I think it's important that you continue to actually collaborate with others
Other teachers,
so that
yes.
you are well equipped. We know that you might even be mentored by somebody who lacks integrity as well, and who is trying to
Exactly.
who's trying to bring you in into, well, this is how we do it, because we have those as well. But it is important that you now start to use the help that you have positively, not
Right.
negatively. Use it positively. Whatever help you get, if you're getting negative help, then maybe you should seek help elsewhere. And then that is if you're someone who has integrity yourself. But we thank God that there's social media now, so as a teacher you know what is right.
Yeah.
Speak up when you see something wrong going on. Don't sit down and do nothing. Speak to somebody who can actually do something. So when you feel helpless because, okay, your line manager is the one who is falling into all of these issues and who's not able to actually guide you appropriately, there's always something high. There's always someone higher up to
Yeah.
talk to.
Yeah.
There's always someone external to talk to. If it's happening in your school, go outside. Report. If you want to report anonymously, go ahead and do that. But be sure that you are actually speaking up. Don't look the other way because you think that it's happening everywhere after all.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that's what happens with governance. And then we're not able to say anything because we believe
True.
that it's happening everywhere. But use your voice.
Use your voice when you see something. Say something. All right, we need to wrap it up very quickly. Before I let you both go, Favour, I mean, I know you have a couple of words just to bring everything home, at least for now, because I just might be having you guys back in the studio at some point. But let's wrap it up for now. Your parting shots, as it were.
I would say that we should focus more on actual learning than academic success. We should allow our children to thrive. We should allow our children to learn. We should support them with every learning in every phase of their life, from early years to primary to secondary till they get to the university. We should uphold integrity and honesty, and we should keep talking to them about it every day. So I will wrap up by saying that there's something I call debrief and upload. So every day when
Okay.
the children come home, you can sit them down. What happened today? Oh, who did you speak with? What happened with your friends? Try to know what happened. It's very important that we know about their day. So when you're talking with them, you debrief. You hear everything they've said. So the ones that are not okay with your family values, which has to do with upholding honesty, integrity, and other values that you might have as a family.
Right.
So you take it out. You debrief. Okay, oh, what he did was not nice. I think you can do better this way. You talk to them about it. And then you upload. You now upload your own values. You take away everything that is probably not right in the day. And then you upload your own value. So you keep talking to them about it. And then after that, you send them out again for another day. So it's very important that parents maintain that communication with their children every day. And it's important that parents are intentional. I know we are busy, like I said earlier, despite our busy schedules, busy lives, we must be intentional about our children. We must be intentional about their growth. We must be intentional about their success. And we must define for ourselves what success is
Yes.
for our children.
Yes,
so that's
indeed.
where I'll say thank you.
All right, let me just sneak this message in here. This is Kennedy. He sent a follow up. He says, meanwhile, any students and parents found culpable in aiding bad vices should be made to face the law and punished to serve as a deterrent for others. Skologado says, school is not only to read and write, it's meant to shape and mold our lifestyles. Also, if you bring your kids late to school, they will eventually become latecomers in adulthood. And then he says, if there's no passion for being a teacher, then you can't teach. I agree with that one wholeheartedly. Yeah. If you've had to deal with kids, I don't have kids, but I've dealt with a lot of kids. Trust me, you guys are doing the Lord's work. Is all I can say. All right, before we go, for those who would love to connect with you on social media, have conversations, share experiences, or even just talk about these issues, because people out there are dealing with these problems and don't have people they can talk to and just bond with in that regard. Favour, first of all, where can we find you on social media?
At the Global Temitope.
Simple, straight to the point.
The Global Temitope on Instagram, the Global Temitope.
All right. And Anuoluwapo, where can we find your social media?
Okay, I'll say you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, at Learn with AMA. So learn with _AMA.
All right. Learn with _AMA. Like that all over the place, YouTube, Instagram, everywhere, the whole shindig. Anyways, I would really love to have both of you in at another point in time to talk more about these issues where it comes to education, because I think it's a serious problem that we're facing, and we need to talk about how we can solve the issues, the myriad of issues that are facing us. But we'll cook and we'll see.
Yes.
All right, Lagos, thank you all so much for being a part of the show this morning. It's been Lagos Talks on the Smooth Breakfast here on Smooth 98.1. My name is Ayokunmi. Thank you all once again. And keep it tuned. The Smooth Breakfast will kick on. I've got great music to get you all settled in your hump of the week pursuits this beautiful Wednesday morning. 11 o'clock, Oluwaseun will be in to talk to all the soul sisters. The brothers are not left out as well. Don't go anywhere. All right.
Thank you.
Yourself.
What's this stream?